Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Sonya Dungee podcast, where conversation is always the essence of the soul. I am your host, Sonya Dungee, and yes, I'm still bringing that heat to the IG, the Facebook, the YouTube, and the TikTok streets. Here at the Sonya Dungee podcast, conversation is always the essence of the soul. Tonight may very well be stepping on some toes while others will have 10 toes down. In 1492, Columbus might have sailed the ocean blue, but I swear the habitation was already there. So, with that being said, how does one discover land that was inhabited by the indigenous Native American people long before Christopher Columbus, the man, discovered the land? Just food for thought, a question to go, This evening, I will be discussing Indigenous Peoples Day, the myths and the truths. If you get value, I would appreciate you commenting value. If you can relate to anything that is being said tonight, please comment that as well. And if you had a breakthrough and aha moment, please comment that as well. And I would love to be able to jump back and forth and read those comments as I am setting up right now to be able to do. One moment. So, how is everybody doing today? Let's kind of start there. I hope that you had an amazing day. For those of you that were off today, celebrating the holiday, and for those who had to go to work, such as myself, I hope you had a light day. So, with that being said, just go here. Okay. So, let's just go ahead and jump right in. It's a little delicate subject for me, so you have to excuse me. But according to Wikipedia, Indigenous Peoples Day, it's an official city and state holiday within the United States that celebrates and honors Indigenous Americans people and commemorates their history and their culture. Indigenous Peoples Day is celebrated on the second Monday in October each year. It originated as a counter celebration held on the same day as the U.S. federal holiday of Columbus Day to cite the lasting harm indigenous tribes suffered because of Columbus's contributions to the European colonization of the Americas. In 1977, during the International NGO Conference, it's a gathering for non-governmental organizations on discrimination against indigenous populations in America. And that was held in Geneva, Switzerland. I mean, they do other things too. It's more non-governmental. It's an organization that discusses global issues, shares strategies, and networks as well. But this particular day in 1977 in Geneva, Switzerland, it was against discrimination against the indigenous population in America. All right. And again, that was held in Geneva, Switzerland. And it was during this NGO conference that discussions and propositions regarding instituting Indigenous Peoples Day was started. Okay, so remember that's back in 1977. All right. It wasn't until 2021 when then President Joe Biden became the very first president to formally commemorate Indigenous Peoples Day with a presidential proclamation. Since 2021, Alabama, Maine, Minnesota, New Mexico, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Vermont, and Washington, D.C. have recognized Indigenous Peoples Day as a state holiday. And doing my research, I found that in 2025, this year, February, Google announced, and I quote, Indigenous Peoples Month would no longer be highlighted by default as a Google Calendar, arguing that it was no longer scalable or sustainable to continue adding the growing number of national and international cultural moments manually to its calendar. Let me school you with that one again, because I had to read that a couple of times to really get that in here. In February of 2025, Google announced, and I'm quoting exactly what it is that was said, Indigenous Peoples Month would no longer be highlighted by default on Google Calendar, arguing that it was no longer scalable or sustainable to continue to add the growing number of national and international cultural moments manually to its calendars. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Evelyn from Basketball Wives, it's a non-blank blank factor. That's what I got out of that. And what a thing to read. You know, I take that personally. Y'all know I'm all about my heritage. Whether it's Puerto Rican, whether it's Indigenous, Native American, or in between. I take offense to that. And here I'm just sharing my own opinion. I'm not looking to start any type of war. I'm just forming my opinions and letting it be known. So in the late 60s, the Red Power movement, which was a social movement by Native Americans to assert their rights, cultural identity, and sovereignty, increased momentum by raising awareness of Native American issues, self-discrimination, and cultural pride. I'm all about cultural pride. While Indigenous Peoples Day is yet to be considered an official federal holiday, we are moving in the right direction due to that presidential proclamation and the awareness that it brought. So, although it's Columbus Day, we as Indigenous Native American people will never forget our Indigenous Native American people. And today is our day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Okay. And in that, I hope that I was able to bring you the truth versus the myths. Again, I am just bringing the facts and letting the facts be known. I just think that it's a shame, at the very least. I think that not even I think, I know that in 1492, that did not happen the way that it was said to happen. That did not happen. Okay. Native Americans are indigenous. We're not savages. Those stories are false. Those cowboy and Indian movies, they're false. The Disney Pocahontas, that's false. I have family. I'm a direct descendant of Pocahontas. And you know, it's really nice the things that we were brought up to in history, and what Disney was telling us to be so is not necessarily so. But what I brought to you tonight, those are solid facts. They can be investigated, and I didn't want to go too deep, but there's a lot that's happening that you don't even hear about. Our women are being abducted. Our indigenous Native women are being abducted, and worse. And that's a whole nother topic that I did discuss last year around this time as well. But if you're about true history, you'll want to take that time and really dive deep into our history. And like I said, I am very proud of my heritage, whether it be the Puerto Rican side of it, the indigenous Native American, or even in between. And I will never denote that. So with that being said, I hope you carry on with the rest of your evening, taking that information for what it's worth. Be safe, stay well. God bless you all. And before I go, let me just jump back into the comments. So thank you, Jacksonville, Florida, for joining us. It's not a non-factor. Thank you for that. Thank you for your Indigenous Peoples Day valuable facts. Thank you so much. I'm reading here on the other side of the house. Tell the truth. Thanks for keeping us informed. Absolutely. I will never talk about something that I don't know. I will never bring you anything that's not factual, that cannot be dug up and really reevaluated. But it's like, okay, it's a federal holiday for one thing, but it's not for another. And I don't see where one is any less than the other. Well, I'll just leave it at that. But thank you again for joining. I appreciate all of you. And November 5th will be the next Boss Masterclass. So please be looking for that as well. If you're joining late, I want to thank you for joining just the same. Make sure that you go back and watch the replay, because there is some valuable information that is there. With that being said, bye for now.